Hi, everyone. This is Dorothea Hendricks, your communication coach in presentation skills and public speaking. Our guest today is a native of Ireland, Roger Killen. Roger Killen graduated from Trinity College. I can't even say that. Trinity College in Dublin in 1973. He was a serial entrepreneur. He is a serial entrepreneur. He will be a serial entrepreneur probably until his last breath. And he's built 12 diverse businesses over his 44-year career. He has, since 2013, produced 9 incredibly successful TEDx events, probably some of the most successful TEDx events in Western Canada and going down Canada's coast and the coast of US of A. He's also coached over 100 TEDx speakers. Roger is a well-traveled explorer and amateur historian, and he's currently deepening his connection to this planet through something called transformative travel. He also sees himself as a biohacker who supports seniors' efforts in leading a more vital and valued retirement. So let's welcome Roger. Roger, so nice to see you again.
So nice to see you as always, Dorothea.
Oh, the man is full of compliments. Anyway, Roger, here you are. You are an entrepreneur. I think you can't help yourself. You see something, you want to, dig in your heels and build something from scratch. But now you're in retirement and you are speaking on cruise ships. How did that happen? How did that come about, being a cruise ship speaker?
Oh, well, for many years, I was what's called a gentleman host on cruise ships. What that means is that my job as a volunteer was to dance with single ladies. There was always more than one of me, several gentleman hosts on each cruise ship, and we would always look at the cruise ship speakers with envy. A green aura would form around us as we looked at the cruise ship speakers because they had it so good. We had to share a cabin. We would work hard, i.e. dance with single ladies, many of whom were like dancing with a refrigerator. And we had to have on our jacket, our shirt, our tie, and the perspiration was running, and we had rashes on our from the chafing, and the speakers just looked so cool and had such a good time that whenever my turn came to stop being a dancer and I had the time to be a speaker, I just jumped headlong into that role. Initially, I retained an agent to place me aboard certain ships. And now I have a relationship with one major cruise line, a very high-end cruise line, and I devote my time and talent to delivering talks aboard that cruise line's ships. And that's how that all happened.
Wow, so this has been something in the making, because you, being helping, being an escort or dancer, or with ladies on ships, that was a number of years ago. So this kernel, this seed of being a speaker, actually was inside of you for many, many years before it actually blossomed, came out, and here you are now heading out. In fact, you are leaving tomorrow to go speak on a cruise ship. What's the process here? How do you get onto the ship? Can you just maybe tell us what will be happening tomorrow?
Okay, so I leave Vancouver Airport, YVR, fly to Seattle, pick up an Icelandic air flight to Reykjavik, board the Viking Saturn, and then overnight in Reykjavik, and then off we go across the North Atlantic. I do my first talk on the evening before we come to Dublin. My first talk is called Dublin's Top 10 Storytellers, starting with Jonathan Swift, 17th century and working forward. Then as we cross the Irish Sea to Liverpool, I do my second talk. That's about downtown Liverpool and the Scousers who live there. Then we head south on the Irish Sea, cross the English Channel, at which point I do my third talk, an introduction to Iberia. Then we go to A Coruña. I'm trying to learn how to speak these names as the locals do. A Coruña. Then leave A Coruña and head towards Portugal, where I do my next talk, which is Portugal's Four Heroes. Then down the length of Portugal, through Gibraltar into the Mediterranean, where I do my next talk, and that is Spain's 15th century dashing hero, Christopher Columbus. Talk about Christopher Columbus. Then we leave Valencia. I hope I'm impressing you with my dialect. Valencia. We leave Valencia, and I do my sixth and final talk, which is about the North Atlantic, the rise and fall of the North Atlantic liner trade. Then arrive in Barcelona and fly back Air Canada, Barcelona, direct to Vancouver.
So how long is that entire cruise? So the time you leave and you land on the ship and get at your destination, how long is that?
That is 15 nights. 15 nights.
Yeah, that's amazing. So there's a lot of research that goes into that. So what you're talking about are the destinations where people actually will get off, where the ship will dock and people will get off and explore. Is that correct?
Some of the talks are destination. For example, the Iberia talk, Introduction to Iberia, the Liverpool talk. The other talks are more about something to do with that city, that port of call. Dublin, for example, Dublin's top 10 storytellers. And some are what is called enrichment talks, which have really nothing to do with the destination. They're there to inform the passengers about the context, about some aspect. For example, Spain's dashing 15th century hero, Christopher Columbus, is not about any particular port of call, but it is about Christopher Columbus and what the life and times of Christopher Columbus, what the world looked like in the 15th and 16th centuries, and specifically what Spain and Portugal looked like in those times. And the passengers love that background information.
Yeah, so the question here is, do they give you this? Do they tell you what you're going to be talking about? Do they give you the content and you kind of massage it into your own way, your own presentation? Or do you have to do all this research? Is this a lot of legwork for you to put this content together and then deliver it?
So here's how that process works. I get out of bed one morning and I decide, I'd like to do something in, pick a month, October. May as well pick this month, September. And I do that perhaps in May. I want to go on a cruise in September. So then I go to a website, and that website is a two-sided marketplace where the cruise lines post their vacancies, and speakers with an annual subscription use that website in order to see what the vacancies are. So I go there and I go straight to the Viking cruise line. All the cruise lines are there, but Viking is my favorite. And then I look at their 7 ships, and I look at where the available speaking slots are on the 7 ships. And because I am footloose, fancy free as a single guy, I can really go anywhere that tickles my fancy. So I find a ship that has a vacancy in October in this case, happened in May, from Iceland to Barcelona, taking in Portugal, Spain, a little bit of Ireland, little bit of England. Sounds great to me. Let's do this. Then I look at the requirements that are posted on the website as to what you need to do, say, on this cruise. Then I take a couple of days doing some research and put together 6 talks that work for the itinerary of this cruise line. I then design a title and a one-sentence synopsis of each of my proposed talks. I then post that on the website. The contact at Viking, the lady who looks after the speakers, selects the speakers and takes a look at my proposal and comes back to me and says, well, I really like the first 5, but the 6th talk, could you tweak it a little bit? I then say, yep, tweak it a little bit. And so we end up with an agreed upon itinerary of talks. And now my investment thus far has been a day or 2 in doing research to arrive at those titles and sentences. Then 2 months in advance of the departure day of the talk, Viking wants to see my completed slideshows. So it takes roughly, for every minute of talk, it takes about an hour of research. So 45-minute talk, 45 hours of research, then committing that research into a PowerPoint presentation, animating the PowerPoint presentation, practicing the PowerPoint presentation. So now I'm ready to go. I send my PowerPoint to Viking, who give me feedback. They want to change this and this and this and this. So now we end up with, again, an agreed upon format. We've got the talks, we've got the titles, we've got the synopsis, we've got the PowerPoints, and those are what I am committed to deliver at a high level of excellence, starting, in this case, Wednesday, 2 days from now of this week.
Okay, wow. There is a fair amount of legwork that's involved, and from the sounds of it, you are actually, you have to submit and know that there are other speakers also who want to speak. And so it's a bit of a competition, isn't it?
Not really. Whenever you see a green check mark against a particular cruise, you know that that slot is available.
Yes.
You're not competing with anybody. You're really competing with yourself. You have to do the work in order to submit an acceptable roster of talks.
Right.
Once they're accepted, then Viking is trusting me to deliver a high-level talk to people who are paying some very serious money for that cruise. So my standard has to be extremely high in order to not let Viking down, which I would never want to do. So you just rise to the occasion, whatever it takes.
And of course, you want to go on and do this again on another Viking cruise.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
It's all about building a trusted relationship,
Yeah.
Viking with the speaker and the speaker with Viking.
Yeah. So for anybody who would like to hear more, because this interview is going to continue for another 25 minutes or so with Roger about his being a cruise ship speaker, what it takes and how he does it and any particulars. So by all means, please go to my YouTube channel, Dorothea Hendricks, Dorothea Hendricks, Hendriks. And looking forward to seeing you there.